Alright, so if you run an insurance agency or you want to sell AI systems to insurance agencies, this one is for you. I have built and deployed AI phone agents to more than 50 small businesses in the US, including insurance agencies that can book appointments on autopilot. That's why in this video, I'll walk you step by step through building a real appointment setter using RetellAI and Google Calendar that can answer, qualify, and schedule appointments automatically. And as it is the case for all my tutorial videos, I will be providing you all the code for free in my AI Resources Hub. Now, here's the first quick tip for you. If you send the leads to an AI instead of a voicemail, you will be able to recover 20 to 30% of those leads that you consider as lost. Let's get into it. Before we get started, let's see the AI agent in action. So I will call it here.
Hello, this is Alex, an AI assistant for the Insurance Superstore. How can I help you?
Hey there, I was wondering whether you're doing homeowner insurance.
Absolutely, we do offer homeowner insurance. I can help you set up an appointment to discuss your options. Can I get your name to get started?
Yeah, sure, I'm Josh.
Thanks, Josh. What's the best phone number to reach you?
It's 123-456-7890.
Got it, thanks. And what's your email address?
It's hello@neurafirst.com. So Neurafirst is spelled neurafirst.com.
Thanks for clarifying your email, Josh. We have openings for an appointment on February 17th from 2 p.m. to 6 p.m., February 18th from 11 a.m. to 6 p.m., and February 19th from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. Which day and time works best for you?
How about the 19th at 11 a.m., please?
You got it, Josh. I'll set your appointment for February 19th at 11 a.m. Just to make sure we're ready for your visit, are you looking for homeowner insurance for a new home purchase or an existing home?
For a new home, please.
Perfect. I've got you down for February 19th at 11 a.m. for homeowner insurance on a new home. You'll get a confirmation soon. Thanks for choosing us, Josh. Have a fantastic day.
Now the event was just added, and as you can see, I have my email here, and let's double check in my inbox. This is it. If I click on it, I will directly see a Google Meet account that was automatically created. The first step that you're gonna do is to go to RetellAI.com. It's the AI voice provider that I like to use. It's very easy to configure, to set up, and to optimize. So go there, either create your account or log in if you already have an account. Then you will end up with a dashboard that looks like this. So first you will click on this button, create an agent, make sure it is a voice agent. Then here select single prompt agent. Also make sure that we're starting with the blank template and then click on create. This part here represents the prompt or the brain of our AI phone agent. And don't worry, I will be providing you with all the prompts that you will just copy and paste it. But it's very important to understand the structure of this prompt if you want to use the same structure and apply it to another type of business. This part here that I highlighted, I use it on every single prompt that I use because those are general guidelines, that will help make the bot more realistic and make it aware about its context. Basically that it is speaking during a phone conversation. Now the insurance agency that I decided to build an AI phone agent for is this one called Insurance Superstore. It's an insurance agency located in Miami, and those are the type of insurances that they propose. So you can have an auto insurance, a homeowner insurance, or a business one. Here in the prompt, first I explained that you will be receiving incoming calls from two types of people: leads or potential clients interested in an insurance, and spam telemarketing robots. So for now, this AI agent can handle those two types of inbound calls. However, in the future, we can add some new features so that it can even handle like existing clients. And in this case, we'll have to add some kind of memory to this AI agent. Now here I also write, your job is to first identify to which category does the caller belongs to. If it's spam, we just hang up. Otherwise, your job is to schedule an appointment with this person. The AI should collect the following data: insurance type, name, phone number to contact, and email. And after collecting this information, the AI should always call the tool, check availability, and I will tell you exactly how to configure it. And then once the lead, has agreed on a date and time for the appointment, we will ask a bit more questions about the insurance type, just quick qualifying questions. And then here I provide some examples of qualifying questions. For example, if it is an auto insurance, the AI should ask whether it is a personal or commercial. And if it is a business insurance, we should also ask the type of business or the approximate number of employees. The reason we do that so that the agents will have some context, right before the meeting, and also we can add this information inside of the description of our meeting. Very important, since this is an agency in Miami, we want to be able to handle both English and Spanish. That's why here I wrote, you are also capable of speaking in Spanish. So if a lead asks you information in Spanish, you should follow the exact same instructions, but in that language. Here I just wrote the types of insurance that are written inside of their website. So we have auto, homeowner, and within the business, we have commercial auto, commercial property, general liability, and workers' compensation. Also, within your prompt, it is very important to make it easier for the AI to follow exactly your instructions. And to do that, we should provide some practical examples of how the conversation should be. So here I provide an example between the AI and the lead. As you can see here in the middle of the conversation, I tell the AI that it should call the check availability function. I also provide an example conversation between the AI and the telemarketer, and another one between the AI and a bot. Then at the end of the prompt, very important, I also include the business information. So the address, the phone number, the opening hours, as well as the website. Don't forget to also add a custom message that the AI will tell at the very beginning of every single conversation. This one here is, hello, this is Alex, an AI assistant for the insurance superstore. How can I help you? Another important detail for those two examples here, when I show how the AI should speak to either a telemarketer or a bot, we also use the end call function. This one is provided by RetellAI and allows you to tell the AI it should end the call, basically. Now, during the conversation, the only two functions that we'll be using are either end call or check availability. And the one that does the actual booking of the Google Calendar event will be done right after the call, once we'll be analyzing the transcript, and I will show you exactly how using Python. And before we do that, we need RetellAI to have access to our computer, to our server. So that it will be sending the transcript and the call information to our local server so that we can process it and then call some Google Calendar API so that we can book the event. The way I do that is via two commands, and the first one is called uvcorn, which is basically the command that allows us to run our server. The command is this one that you see. It's uvcorn, then the name of our Python file, app, and then here we just specify the host, 0.0.0.0, it means the local host, our computer, and here we specify the port number. And this reload option just means that whenever we'll be modifying some stuff inside of our code, the server will be reloading. That's how it will be taking into account those changes. Once you launch this command, this should appear. Basically, we'll watch for changes and so on. And then here at the very bottom, you'll see application startup complete. At this point, while running only uvcorn, your server is local. It means that the internet does not have access to our server. And the way to fix that is via a tool called ngrok. And the command is this one, ngrok http 8000. And remember, this is the port number that we specified here. So just remember that we should use the same port. Once you launch it, you should see something like this. This URL here is your public URL, meaning that any server in the internet can send some data inside of this URL here so that your computer will be able to receive it and to process it. We should copy this URL here. Here you should click on add and then click on custom function. Call it check availability, and then the description doesn't matter, just write here checking availability. The type of API endpoint should be a GET, and then here you should paste the ngrok URL that was provided. And we should finish this endpoint by /check_availability. What I like to do also is to check this option speak during execution, because otherwise it will feel a bit awkward, when the AI will stay silent for some 2 seconds. We don't want that. We want the AI to say something while there is some function execution. And here I just wrote, let me check the available time slots that we have in our calendar. Then here you click on update. Now, as I told you, we also want to do some post-call analysis. And the way we do that is via a webhook. That's why here you should click on it. And then again, you should paste the ngrok URL here and finish the endpoint by /analyze_transcript. Now we are done with the RetellAI configuration. What we want is to move on to the Google Cloud configuration because we want to integrate with Google Calendar. And the way to do that is via a Google Cloud project. You will see that it's very easy to do. Just Google how to create a Google Cloud project and then click on this first link and then on this button. Here, just name it whatever you want and then click on create. Once it is created, you should click here on APIs and services. And then you click on Enable APIs and Services. Here, let's search for Google Calendar. You click on Google Calendar API and not on CalDAV API. And then here, click on Enable. Now we want to configure the authentication to this API. To do that, we click on OAuth consent screen. Get started. For the app name, let's call it My App. Just write whatever you want. And then for the user support mail, just click on your Gmail account, then click on Next. Here for the audience, you have no choice but to click on External, so click on it. For the contact information, just write your Gmail account that is linked to the Google Calendar from where you want to test this. Then finally, just check I agree and then continue. And then here, create. Then we want to add ourselves as the user of this API. That's why here you should click on Audience, then add users here. Then add again the Gmail account that you want for your calendar. And then you click on Save. Now we also want to configure the data access. That's why we click on Data Access here. Then add or remove scopes. You just write calendar here and then you should click on the first one, which is /auth/calendar. Make sure that the description says see, edit, share, and permanently delete all the calendars that you can access using Google Calendar. And then here you just check it and then click on update. Finally, you click on save. Then we should create the actual credentials to our API. So click here on the navigation menu and then click on APIs and services. Then credentials. Here select create credentials. And then OAuth client ID. Make sure it's desktop app. And then create. Here finally it will show us our credentials, client ID and client secret. And we can download that in the form of a JSON file. Here just download it and then place it in the same folder as your Python code. Also, one last thing for this JSON file is that you should rename it as credentials.json so that your Python file here that I will be providing you will be able to read it, because as you can see here, let me zoom in. Here, as you can see, the file is supposed to be called credentials.json. Now, for this Python file to work, we need a .env file where we'll be storing some important data. The first one is your OpenAI API key. So just paste the value here. And then the second data is the local time zone, basically where you want this to work. If you are, in Pacific time, you just write here America/Los Angeles. Otherwise, if you're in Eastern time, just keep it as it is. And if you're not sure how to write your specific time zone, you just Google database time zones wiki. And you will find this website here where you have all the possible time zones. You just find your own and then you write it inside of this .env file. Now, the first time that you will be running this file, you will have to authenticate. That's why we will have to run this function, authenticate Google Calendar. And this one will basically create a token called token.json. And this one will be, used to every time call our Google Calendar API. And basically this function, once you will run it for the first time, it will open your browser. You will be able to select your Google account. Just select it, continue, and then trust also the app, and then you should be able to authenticate. So there won't be any issues about that. Now, I want to explain to you how this code works. That's why I will go over the most important functions. But of course, if there is something that you don't understand, just copy the function, paste it inside of Claude AI or ChatGPT, and it will be able to explain it to you. It's very easy actually. The first function that I wrote is very useful. It's called get calendar busy times. Basically, we are trying to get all the slots that are reserved from now on up to 7 days, basically in the next week, every single busy time. And we do that using this free busy endpoint with this query, where in the body we are specifying the start of the period, the end of the period, the time zone, and our calendar. The second function that is super important is this one, get available time slot. And as you can see, we have a get and a / check availability endpoint. That's why here in our function, we are specifying get method as well as this one here, / check availability. Basically, we're telling RetellAI, please call this API endpoint from my server. And the way this function works is super easy. First, we will be providing the list of scheduled events to OpenAI, and then we'll tell it some rules. For example, when are we open, when we are closed, what is the format of date and time of those events that are scheduled, and also important detail here, I say to OpenAI, if there are more than 3 days with available time slots, you should output only the first 3 days and exclude the rest of the days. Because we don't want this to sound too robotic if the AI starts listing every single day, where we have available time slots. Also very important, inside of this prompt, I make sure OpenAI is aware of the current date and time. The next function is called classify call, and it needs a transcript as an input. And basically, it's very simple. We are using AI to classify whether in a conversation, the human that is calling the AI is spam or a genuine lead. And we want ChatGPT to output only one word, either lead or spam. The next function is also super important because it allows us to extract key data from the transcript. And the data that we want is the phone, the email, the name, the insurance type, the appointment date and time, as well as some notes. You remember we wanted to ask some qualifying questions? Well, the answer to those questions will be here inside of these notes. Now, the main function that is used to create an event within Google Meet, with its summary, its start time, the duration, and the list of invitees, as well as a description, is this one here, create event with Meet. I won't bore you, with those details about the body of our request, but here we are providing the start date time, the end date time, as well as the automatic creation of a Google Meet link. And finally, we have our webhook endpoint analyze transcript, which is this one here. And of course, it is a post method because RetellAI tells us it should be a post method. And what we are doing, first we are getting the body of this request, because in the body we'll have everything about the call. Its transcript, its duration, its latency, and so on and so forth. First, we are extracting the transcript, and then we are classifying it, whether this is spam or not. If this is not a lead, then we just return here status spam filtered. Basically, we know that it is spam. Otherwise, the rest of the function will be processing data. Here we'll be extracting some key information from the transcript using our function that we just saw. And here we'll be processing all of the data so that we'll be using it as an input for this function here, create events with Meet. Now, to have some fun, let's try to call the bot and act as a cold caller.
Hello, this is Alex, an AI assistant for the Insurance Superstore. How can I help you?
Hey there. Well, to be honest, this is a cold call. Just wanted to pitch you quickly like a product of mine. Are you okay with that?
Thanks for letting me know, but I'm not interested. Have a good one.
All right, that was short. So yeah, guys, I hope you enjoyed it and you learned something. Don't forget that everything that you've seen here will be available in my resources hub. Cheers, guys.